Hi there, my name's Sarah and I'm an independent Stampin Up demonstrator in the UK. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my Top Tips Tuesday. Right, today we're going to stick with the Stamparatus like we did last week, but using a template yet again, but slightly different reason this time. Right, for this one I'm going to show you how to die cut your shapes first and then stamp them afterwards. You can do it the other way around. You can stamp all your images first. This using this set today, Rooted in Nature, because I'm using this on my Facebook Live this evening. Yeah, there's not dies for everything. There's not a die for this, but you can easily fussy cut this one round. There's dies for all these, though. Yeah, I think all these ones. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, as I say, you can stamp all your images first, get your stamp and do a whole thingy of them. But you have to be very careful then to line them up on your die cut machine. And I mean, it's fine if you've got the magnetic platform, which I have, but sometimes they do move. Sometimes you just have to washi tape them on, and that takes a little bit of time and effort. So I find this a lot quicker and easier method, definitely, especially if you're doing quite a huge batch of them, which I did need quite a few. So this technique works marvelously well. So anyway, any piece of cardstock will do. Doesn't matter what size it is, but I just made it slightly bigger. And then you run your individual dies through your die cutting machine. This looks like a lemon, I know, but it's actually a leaf, a skeleton leaf. So you put that in the middle, and then previously I've just die cut a load of the leaves. So you don't have to worry about lining them up. You just cut them out of your cardstock. This is Whisper White. You can use whatever colour you like. And then you just get them and make sure that this is a little bit difficult to tell which is the right way. It's slightly this. You've got your little bulbous bit, then you've got a slightly narrow bit there, which is your stem, so which is corresponds, and then you just fit it in your slot. And take a little bit of time, just putting it in, and then this is the most trickiest part, is lining this up. And I'm got to be careful not to put my head over the camera. You can kind of see by the rubber image where it's meant to go, but just take your time in lining it up. And then bring your platform down, and then we'll see what it's like with the first stamp image. So we just go in with mint macaron, press it down. Let's see if you're happy with it. Okay, it's a little bit off. I'm not too worried about it, because trust me, when you're on a die cut machine, it can be a lot off a lot more than that sometimes. Not too bad. So it's a little bit over here, if you can see that. Focusing a bit. It's having trouble focusing. So if you're not happy, you can go in again and you can just try and realign your stamp a little bit better and look at where it's missing, so it's in that corner. There, so we want to try and move it down a little bit, so it's that way round. Down just a touch. Let's say you try and take your time doing this, because once you've got it right, you can just crack on and do loads of die cutting and loads of stamping. But just take your time to do this, get this bit lined up right. So I try again. I don't know if I've gone too low with this one. Yeah, I have. I've gone a bit too low with that, so I should have left it as it was. But that's what happens when you die cut. Sometimes you get that big, it moves, and then you lose that alignment. You can go in; it's not too bad. You've still, if you want it close to the leaf, you can go in and you could cut around that, and you could still use that, and that would look absolutely fine. So clean it up again. So. No, this seems a lot. It's basically just getting it where you want it. Obviously, it's difficult for me because I'm trying not to put my head over the camera. But you will be able to. So let's see how this is. Oh, put the die cut in. So pop that in there. So I think it might be a bit low. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's still a bit low. Right. So And why that is, I think, if you look at the stamp, there's more rubber. I don't know if you can see it. There's more rubber on this side than there is that side. So you've kind of got to allow for that. The image is up higher than that edge of rubber. You could cut it if you wanted to, but I'm not going to because I'll. So just try it again. I know this seems like a lot of messing about, but once you've got it right, you've got that held firmly in place with the magnet, you'll be well away. So it's a bit higher than what we think. So put it up a little bit and try that. No, it's still missing it. Right, should have left it where it was, shouldn't I, in the first place? As I say, sometimes I'm, you know, if it's a little bit off, I'm not too worried. It's just a case of getting it lined up. That's what I'm missing it now. Right. So I'm going to go like that. So yeah, that's why sometimes when I get it almost spot on, I stick with it. It kind of depends how fussy you want to be with your images, with your stamped images. That's better. I'm really pleased with that one. Look at that. That's really good. You're not going to get much better than that. You wouldn't if you was die cutting around it. Well, you could, but a lot more time consuming. So now we've got it in place. Huh, I've run out of die cuts. Typical. Yeah, I can't do that now. So, right, let's try it with a different stamp then. Different stamp. Sorry about that. I've run out of die cuts now. Let's see if we can get it lined up with probably a slightly trickier one actually. So this one is a leaf design. Have I got some of those? Yeah. So obviously you would want to make sure you've got lots of die cuts cut up, and we're going to go slip that in there, find the right changing colour as well. What colour? Old olive we're going to do with this one. As I say, I would easily have a batch of probably 15-20 die cuts, and you've got them for future projects then. So this stamp, yeah, it's quite evenly cut round, so that should be less of a problem, this one. Just trying to get it lined up. Let's see what it's like. Make sure it fits in the slot. I don't know if you can see that. Ink your stamp up. Yeah, it's a little bit off. So that's a little bit off. Not too bad. Just needs to come over a little bit. So I'm going to try and get it over a little bit more. So it really is tricky when you can't get your head over. Try that. Yes, that's almost perfect actually. So I'm happy with that. So obviously the stamp's staying there, and that one is spot on. So now you can just carry on and do a huge batch of them. If needs be, leave that in place, go to your die cutting machine and get some more cut out. You might as well, you know, it just makes card making so much easier if you have a lot of your elements stamped and cut already, especially if you need to make a quick card. If you've got a batch of things already made, it speeds things up, and you can make several cards at a time, which is another good time saving tip. Right, and what I do, I haven't bought a cellar bag. Oh, I could just, I just get a cellar bag or any type of bag that you've got, and then I would just slip them all in and just slip them in. Oh yeah, look, here we go. So I've got one in here already. So I would just slip them in a cellar bag. And I've got them there for my next project. Obviously you could do different colours, or if you've got a designer series paper that you like doing with it, that you like using with this set, I would use the coordinating colours in there, and then you've got a perfect project. So we'll just quickly show you another quick tip while we're talking about die cutting. Oops, let me get myself organised, sorry. Right, when we die cut, when you're doing a lot of die cutting, there's two ways you could do it, like, because we're doing 4 or 5 different shapes here. I'm not going to run it through my machine because my table's not geared up for die cutting, but just to show you what I do, there's 2 methods you can do. You can do what I've done here, and you can get just an A4 sheet, and you can place all your shapes on your piece of cardstock, and you can cut them out, just en masse like that. Trouble with that is, I find you take a little bit of time lining them up. If I show you, you're going to take a little bit of time. And another little quick tip: just always store the cutting pads, which this is normal. They get like this. Store them underneath the platform, and it keeps it perfectly flat. So that's another little tip for you. So yeah, put that on there, and you can just get your die cuts. And you can just try and put them. Obviously you want to be conscious not to waste your cardstock. That's what we're trying to be conscious of, so you try and get them as close together. But as I said, this takes a little bit of time trying to work out which is the best way to get them on your sheet for not wasting card, and you've got quite a bit of wastage around there. You are going to get some wastage obviously because of the nature of the dies, the shape of them. But so you can do that and run that through, which I'm not going to because I say my table will shake and then the camera will go. Or you can do this. This is what I like to do. I get strips. Don't know how many we can get on here. We can probably only get, we might be able to at a push get them all on because it's half a sheet of A4. And you think if they're near the edges it's not going to cut. Actually it cuts better towards the outside. On this machine it does, cuts better on the outside. That's where the pressure is more than it is on the centre, so it will work. So yeah, what I do, I get my dies, so the leaf one, and I measure from the die to die, and then you've got plenty of cardstock, but obviously that's your cutting area. Cutting area is the lip all around there. But yeah, I'd measure across there, cut my cardstock to that width, and then I know I can just pop that on. Same with all the other ones. It's all cut to size, and I just lay them on like that, and I know they will fit. That was just a leftover, and that will fit. And you just pop them on, and you haven't really wasted a lot of time. Oh yeah, I will just cut this even though the table will rock a little bit. You haven't wasted a lot of time placing, and also, sorry, I'm just concentrating. Also, it's just quicker, and also I don't think it wastes a lot of cardstock, because what you now do, you've got your shapes, you can now position that depending on the shape of it, either upside down you still are going to get a little bit of wastage, as I say, because of the shapes. can get quite close. And you're still time saving because you're cutting 3 dies through at the same time. You're not unrolling it through, or you're not rolling your dies through unnecessarily one at a time. That's very time consuming if you do it that way. So yeah, I would always say try and get as many dies on a one roll through as possible. It saves yourself a lot of time. Yeah, so a few tips there. I hope they're all helpful for you, and thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.